No?
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll call the meeting to order. Send in your roll call.
Bell, here. Bergen.
Here.
Eads. Littleton.
Here.
Crofton.
Here.
Motley. Pointer.
Here.
Clark.
Okay, before we get into the business portion of our meeting, is there any comments from our audience here this evening?
Okay, I've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
In regard to last month's bills,
Will you state your name, please?
Kirk Allen,
Thank you.
in regard to last month's bills, you had a payment to Craig Smith, the attorney for the board.
Yes.
I was curious as to what that was for.
That's just for his services.
Was that related to the open meetings information and the FOIA request that I had submitted?
Well, I think at the treasurer's office, you get a copy of that invoice, you can see what it's for. Okay.
Okay. My next question is in regards to what we had discussed before, and I'll be very brief on it. I've gathered my documentation and done my homework. I want to present it to the board in regards to the pager issue. The minutes reflect that a copy of signed emergency agreements for all agencies were in control of 911. I've received those copies under my FOIA request. Kansas is not included in that. And the record does not reflect anywhere that Kansas was given any opportunity for reimbursement. Investigation and questioning of the past chiefs confirmed no such offer has ever been provided. I can find no documentation of such offer. I would like to know whether there was an offer in writing. If it was not in writing, who was it addressed to? Because I would like to have our request for funding for those pagers reconsidered, because we are the only department in this county that never received that opportunity, according to the documented record.
We'll just have to research that, our records, and we'll have to get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Everybody has a copy of the minutes from the June 6th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions? If not, motion by Dee to approve. Second, Jeff. Cindy? Yep. No, we're not.
Okay, Mr. Bergen.
Yes.
Mr. Eads. Littleton.
Yes.
Crofton.
Yes.
Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Bill.
Okay, you have the report, financial report from the Edgar County Treasurer in your packet. It's reported to you.
The July bills were in there.
Total funds available at the end of June, or excuse me, July. 752, 583.53.
This is what I just gave you tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay. And we do have a CD that matured on the 28th of June. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Is there any questions on that, on the available funds report? July, is what I said. July. Also in your packet, you have a copy of revenue and expenses, current to budget. It's there for your review. Income's running about 66% where we projected. Expenses are just a little bit over that. So we're still on a course for about $30,000 to $50,000 decrease. Any questions on that? Move to approve. Okay. There's a motion to approve. Second.
Bell, yes. Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Crofton.
Yes.
Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. No. Okay, as we just said, there's a certificate of deposit, State Bank of Chrisman, $107,954.06. Spoke to the county treasurer, matured on 7/28. That would renew at 1.1% for 24 months. That was the current term of that. Any discussion, questions? Motion to approve the treasurer to reinvest that CD at 24 months at State Bank of Christmas. Dee, or Dave, second?
Second.
Jamie, okay.
Belt, yes. Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Coughlin. Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. Okay, in your packet, you have the copy of the bills that were paid in July, $12,191.19. Are there any questions?
Okay, that one.
Yes. Yes,
And those are actually from the treasurer's office. It shows what was paid.
Oh,
Okay,
so what's the,
$12,191.
yeah, it's officially from Donald. Well, that.
We had the last one. $12,191. David, that's it. Yeah, you didn't bring it in.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. That's the ones you looked at.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Motion to approve the July paid bills. Cindy, Dave second.
Yes. Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Coughlin.
Yes.
Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. Now you have also in your packet,
No, the new bills for August, I gave you tonight.
the bills to
Because
be
there was
paid.
a couple of additions, as I indicated in my view before the meeting.
So what additions were there then?
There at the very bottom, the Benjamins, I had to get a toner cartridge for the jail printer, and I hadn't added up on my postage.
Okay.
And that power phone class, I'm not sure I had that on there for Sharon Wilson to attend.
Okay.
It wasn't on there, okay.
Any questions, comments? Motion to approve. Dee, second. Jeff, thank you. Cindy?
Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Coughlin.
Yes.
Pointer. Clark.
Yes. Okay, and Ed?
Okay, I've had a busy 2 months. One of the big things I've been working on, that when we purchased the new software for the CAD at the jail, we were promised a transfer feature, and Emergitech, our vendor, and Frontier had a difference of how this was to happen, and it's taken me quite a bit of time to get it ironed out, but I finally have got answers that I needed. And what this transfer feature is mainly with wireless calls, when they come into the PSAP that are not for our county, we need to transfer them to the county which they belong. It'll be better for the caller, for our dispatchers, for their dispatchers, for everybody involved. So I finally have got answers on this. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to install a phone line at the router in Alney. This will be our expense. The install charge is $60, and then this line itself will cost approximately $50 a month. And I will put the order in tomorrow if I get board approval tonight for this. I would like to purchase letterhead envelopes and business cards with the new office address. I've gotten a price from about $150 from the Printers Inc., which is across the street here from the The last thing I'd like approved tonight is the air conditioner in the equipment room at the jail. It runs 24/7, 365 days a year, and it's now about 13 years old. Last weekend, that equipment room got extremely hot. The air conditioning froze up. Dick Walker's been nursing it off and on for several months, and he got it going for us again. It's an emergency situation, and he can order us a new one tomorrow if we would approve it. The old one was 3,600 BTU. The new one will be 4,000 at a cost of $3,000. And we have several $100,000 worth of equipment in that room, and we cannot afford to let that room get hot like it did.
And it doesn't just have our equipment in it.
Oh, absolutely not. It's got the phone system for the entire county. It's got the internet equipment. We're a pop site for Illinois Century Network. They've got lots and lots of equipment for lots of different agencies in there. We've got all of our equipment. Sheriff's Department has their server in there, so there's a lot of equipment and causes a lot of heat in the room, so we have to keep that going. So that is what I asked for you guys tonight.
Okay. Any questions for Nanette?
The first item, like right now, if they get a call that's in Coles County, they call on the telephone to Coles County Dispatch.
Correct.
How's it going to work with this phone?
Okay, we will have, there's a button on the new CAD software that they click on. It will automatically dial Coles County for us. The dispatchers will stay on the line with the caller. We never lose the caller. Okay? Once they pick up and our dispatchers secure that all three parties are involved and that they are talking, we then can disconnect.
So
If it is a 911 system in our router, we can transfer on to 911 lines. For instance, Clark County and Douglas County, we can transfer onto the 911 lines. But with counties not in our router, it will transfer to their 24/7 emergency line.
and
Just as we called today.
all we need is a phone line. Everything's in place on the new.
Yeah. That's all they assure us that we have to have is this phone line that is sitting there waiting to make that transfer.
So it will be pretty easy.
I anticipate. I mean, it will all be tested before we put it in working order, that's for
So
sure.
there's no way we're going to lose the call.
You know how
The routers.
technology goes. No, technically that
router
is
for
definitely
this
not
area.
supposed to happen. Of
Right.
course, we will secure the callback number before we would even do that. We would
I'm
need
just
to do
thinking
that.
about liability.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we actually should secure all the information we currently do before we make the transfer in case that were to happen.
And Dave just asked a question about Alney, but that's the main hub for
That is where
Verizon.
our router is
Yeah.
for our 911 stuff. There's several counties down there.
Any other questions for Nanette? Thank you. You've heard Nanette talk about, the next item is to purchase letterhead, envelopes, and business cards with a new address. We need a motion to do that. Just need a motion to do that. Oh, I marked it up, sorry. Phone lines first. Phone transfers that she just spoke about.
So
Dave? Dave second? Yeah. It's gonna be the next one.
Yes, Bergen,
yes.
Littleton.
Yeah.
Conklin.
Yes.
Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yep. Now we'll go to purchase new letterhead, envelopes, and business cards.
So moved.
Cindy moved. Jimmy second.
Yes, Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Conklin. Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. And you heard Nanette talk about the air conditioning unit at the jail. Jeff, made motion, Dave second.
Yes, Bergen.
Yes.
Littleton.
Yes.
Conklin. Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. Okay, under other reports, we started a project about a year ago. We got sidetracked here a little bit here in Langley. Attorney Craig Smith is here. We need to revise, hopefully, our bylaws.
And I gave you, it's the one I gave you tonight.
You had received a copy of the old ones, along with the new proposed ones. we made 2 minor adjustments to those since your since the old ones. The first thing that we the change that occurred is on item C. Did you want me to go ahead and talk about that, Craig?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Item 1, C1. We eliminated the last 2 words on that. So that's when your ordinance said in attendance. And then under Article for the amendments, we eliminated the last 5 words there, present time of meeting. Clarify that so there's a contradiction in our part. Craig?
Okay. I was asked to review your prior bylaws. And historically, let me give you an idea. In 1991, the Edgar County Board established the Edgar County Emergency Telephone System Board. In 1992, the board adopted the bylaws, and at the time the state statute was abolished. Since then, the state statute has new numbers. They've had several amendments to it, and under the state statute, and I've brought some for you all to look at, it's 50 Illinois Compiled Statute 750/15, specifically .4. This is where they list the state legislature passed this act, and it's the Emergency Telephone System Act. When the original bylaws were put in place in 1991, it was the Illinois Revised Statutes, and it was a different chapter entirely. 134, the Illinois Revised Statutes. Several years ago, all numbering changed, and then it became the Illinois Compiled Statutes. So, for no other reason than that, you probably needed to amend your bylaws. But then when I started looking at your bylaws, what was put in place in 1991 is really trumped by the state statute. State statute sets up what your powers and duties are in that particular section that I gave you. So my suggestion was that you radically change this and make it into a simpler bylaw that follows the state statute, which is what I've done. And then we've incorporated the information from the Open Meetings Act, providing for how long you have to give notice and where you put your notices and things like that. So it's a much simpler document. It correctly refers to the statute that is currently in law, which is the one you have there. And so my recommendation is that you should adopt this one, because now this will fall in line with the state statute. Any questions?
Everybody's had an opportunity to review that. Okay. So you've heard that. Is there a motion to amend the old bylaws with the new bylaws? Dee? Second. Cindy? Any other question or discussion there? Okay. And also in that motion, authorize the chairman, vice chairman, one of the members will be you, Cindy, to sign this. Is that correct? We make that deal. Yeah.
I just got one question.
Yes.
Will the county board need to approve these two?
I don't think so.
Just wondering.
No, they don't. And the county board duties and obligations are also maintained or in that 15.4. So not only this board, but also your board duties are.
It allows them to create rules and regulations.
Right.
Stout, yes. Bergen?
Yes.
Littleton?
Yes.
Crofton?
Yes.
Pointer.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes. Does anyone on the board have any other business for us here? I do have one item myself personally. The way with every other month or monthly meeting, we need to appoint an evaluation committee and we go through a formal evaluation every year. And that committee typically is the vice chairman, Dee, will be the secretary, Cindy. And we've got the information here for you. So I'd ask that within the next 2 months that whatever information you have to gather, do the evaluation, come back to us in October with some recommendations. And what those recommendations are, then we can discuss them or vote on at that point in time. Okay. Anything else from this board? If not, we need a motion to adjourn. Dave? Jeff?
I just pointed at him.
Oh.
That's fine.
Who is it? Is it Jeff or Jamie?
Doesn't matter. Jamie.
Jamie. McNeil? Yes. Bergen?
Yes.
Littleton?
Yes.
Rockland?
Yes.
Pointer?
Yes.
Clark.
Thank you. Yeah, you've got the original.